Yo, what's up, all you burner stones and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there, Mrs. Weedman?
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Fantastic.
I love it. Hey, all you vipers out there in the world. Hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal, but before we do, we'll be covering the latest cannabis research, science and health, political news, international news, and end it with some cannabis culture. Now, let's get normal, Mrs. Weedman, with some Super Boof grown by Gary Goodies. And this was given to me by our friend at Midwest Terps at the Midwest Terp Off, and one of the placers in the Midwest Terp Off, Illinois versus Michigan. And we're smoking Super Boof. And it's an evenly balanced hybrid created through crossing the potent black cherry punch and Tropicana cookie strains. If you're in the market for a new super balanced hybrid to add to your lineup, look no further than Super Boof. This bud brings a hard-hitting effects that slam into both mind and body with a potency level that's almost unmatched by any of its peers. You'll feel the cerebral effects hit you first, filling your mind with lifted sense of focus and creativity that is perfect for helping you jump on artistic tasks and chat with people around you. Mrs. Weedman and I will be chatting all night. A sense of physical relaxation comes next, slipping into your limbs and helping you stretch out and relax without any aches or pains, Mrs. Weedman. In combination with the super high THC average, THC levels, these effects make Super Boof a great choice for treating conditions such as chronic stress, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, gastrointestinal disorders, mood swings, and chronic pain. This bud has a sweet and fruity cherry berry flavor with super nutty and sour citrus aroma to match. Super Boof buds have a dense and flat heart-shaped emerald green nugs with thin red orange hairs and tiny milky amber crystal trichomes. And I'd like to thank Gary Goodies and Midwest Terps to throw into the cause. And we've smoked Super Boof on the show before by another grower, Big Earl. And I'm looking forward to trying this grower's Super Boof. I like to call it Super Boofy.
Super Boofy.
While I'm smoking, Mrs. Weedman is going to tell you a little bit about 8decades.com. Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
Yes, 8decades.com is our website where you will find our brand 8 Decades. That is our cannabis lifestyle brand with an intention to stomp the stigma and free the plant. We created a beautiful smoking set, stainless steel, and we have storage jars, hemp clothing, tote bags, pins, steamrollers, grinders, and we have Weedman 420 swag.
Yay.
So head on over, check us out, see what we're all about, learn a little bit more about us and what our efforts are trying to do for the world of cannabis. And if you sign up for our newsletter, you will get free shipping on your first order.
Yay.
That
free
is
shipping.
8decades.com, EIGHT.
And as we always say, if you support 8decades.com, we get to pay our producer.
Shoddy. I can't say it.
Shoddy.
Shoddy.
There you go.
It just doesn't flow for me.
Oh boy. Should we talk about our interesting week last week?
Let's do it.
All right. So before we get into our fun article, let's talk about a little bit about what happened in northern Illinois where we live now. We saw torrential downpour for literally 18 hours. 18 hours of not just light drizzle or a little sprinkling here and there. We're talking about heavy rain that I've never seen before for that long of a period of time.
Not in Illinois.
Not in Illinois.
South Florida? Yeah.
Yes, but we've seen heavy rain here before, but not for as long as it was. We got 6 inches of rain here up by us. 6 inches is no bueno, no joke. Our ground was so saturated that the water had nowhere else to go. Now, we were sitting in our house and we had just smoked, right? A little bit. We just had a couple of a joint and we had a long day and working around the house and work and all that fun stuff. And all of a sudden we hear an alarm going off and we run downstairs, and Yuki hates fire alarms. And we thought it was a fire alarm going, oh no. And it wasn't. It was our water heater alarm, because there was all of a sudden we see water on the floor and we're wondering where this water is coming from.
We thought the water heater was rupturing.
Yes. And we look around. Next thing you know, Mrs. Weedman runs and gets a mop, starts mopping, and I look up and we have a window in the furnace room, and It looks like a fish tank.
It really wasn't that calm. It was like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is that alarm? Or I'm pushing the fire alarm and it won't turn off. And then there's like these old 1950s fire alarms. I'm like, how do you turn these fucking things off? The dog's pacing. I'm like, shut the water off. Because I thought the water heater was exploding. I'm like, where? Like, of course, we know where the water shut off is. But in this moment, I'm like, where's the fucking water shut off?
And it was exactly like that, too.
Yeah.
And I look out the window to the basement. I see water coming in through the window. And I look up and I see a fish tank.
Yeah.
The water in our window well was all the way up halfway up the window. And it looked like there was fish swimming in there. Not literally, but
right.
I'm like, oh, shit. What do I do? I run. I'm like, I need to get a shovel. I don't know why I thought a shovel. And I'm out there trying to scoop the water with the shovel. And I'm like, this ain't fucking working. I start pounding on the window. I'm like, get me buckets.
Mode, yeah.
Get me buckets. And Mrs. Weedman runs to the door and gives me a bucket. I'm sitting there bucketing water. Bucketing. Just for like 30 minutes. And finally I got the water out. And I go back in the furnace room to help Mrs. Weedman finish cleaning up. And next thing you know, I want to go check the well room, which had water in it. And we have a drain there. And then I want to check the sump pump, make sure it's running. And I see water dripping down the wall. I'm like, oh, where's this water coming from? Oh, no. And I look at that window well, and the water is all the way up past the window. Yeah. I'm like, shit, buckets! And I run outside, and I'm bucketing the water out of this window well. Then I check the next window well, and I'm bucketing the water out of there. And I check the next, and then I go back to the one by the furnace room. That's filled up again, and I'm bucketing it out. So Mr. Weedman from 9:30 at night till 2:30 in the morning. Okay, but I have to specify it. Like I have to explain, because you fail to explain this. People are like, how did these window wells fill up? I will get to it. You're going to get to it? I'll get to it. Okay. So from 9:30 at night till 2:30 in the morning, Mr. Weedman is taking buckets and walking them 20 feet away from the house and dumping it further away from the house, because we realized that the water wasn't coming from the rain coming down. It was coming from the ground up into the window wells and nonstop until about 2:30. Like as soon as you would empty a window well, another one was full. Yes. And then it was like boom, 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 boom. And I Mrs. Weedman came out about 12:30 to bring me some water, and I said, I'm beat. I said, and this was at midnight. I said, I need like 30 minutes. I said, nature's winning right now, and I have no control over this except for my bucketing. That's it. Well, not to mention, too, the sump pump, which seems to be new to the home, like maybe before we moved in. I don't know that it was always there. Right. Something tells me it wasn't always there. Right. We sit up at the top of a hill. We're at like one of the highest elevations in town. There's like 2 properties that sit slightly higher than us. So it's really weird, because you're thinking, how we're at the top of, how are we having oversaturated ground? How are we having water fill up in our window wells? Like, why isn't it just going down the hill? It was crazy. Yes. It was like we had never experienced that before. Yeah. It just kept nuts. Yeah. So I took a 30-minute break, went back out until about 2:30 in the morning, and I'm done. I got nothing left in the tank. Mother Nature wins. I can't help because my shoulder is injured. Yeah. So I can't, what are you saying? I can't bucket the water. You can't bucket. I can't bucket. So finally go to bed. I check all the windows. I'm like, all right, I'm going to set my alarm for every hour and go check the windows. If I have to go back out there, I will. So I set my alarm for like 3:30, went and checked. All right, we're looking good. They're filling, but not filled yet. 4:30, the rain has finally stopped. And I woke up again about 5:30 and checked, and the water had not come up to the windows again. I was like, all right. I finally went to sleep till about 9, went back out there and got all the rest of the water out that had built up. And the sump pump has not stopped running. Yeah, and that's what I started talking about, the sump pump. The sump pump only ejects like 6 feet off of the house, like just outside the flower bed. They built like almost like a little trough at the outside edge of the landscaping. Yeah. And so it's like a little natural gutter for the water to move along. Yeah. But this thing was like spitting out water like as soon as it could fill. Every 5 minutes. Even less. Yeah. And it was just spitting it 6 feet away from the house. So I think it was just like this constant, more rain coming down, but then also that same water that is just recirculating, driving you mad. I was like, oh my God. So the next day, Mrs. Weedman went and bought a pump for us so we could pump the water out until we figure out a new dredging system, a dry well system that we're going to put out there. But yeah, something new to live by and never happened before in our lives. Yeah. And it was an experience.
Yes, it was.
So we didn't drown. Nothing
No.
happened to the house. No damage.
We're all
Great
good.
stuff. But we have some digging to do and some fixing to do. So, but learning.
That was really like a 100-year storm.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Oh, my God.
not.
I feel bad
I
for
don't think
our
we'll see.
neighbors 2 blocks away. Got about 2 to 3 feet of water because they live downhill from us, and their whole backyard was
And then
about
their
2 feet.
backyard is like a bowl.
Yeah, like a bowl. And they had about 2 to 3 feet of water in their yard. So, at least it didn't hit their house.
Yeah.
But their yard, look, we can go swimming and fishing and boating.
They had a pond.
Yeah, they had a pond.
It was kind of funny, like this week driving, because the land was so saturated too that even like what was the
Everywhere.
storm? Was that Friday night?
That was Wednesday night.
Wednesday night?
Yep.
And even now, like if I went out today, we still have some pooling like at the bottom of our driveway and along the side of like the main road. There's still water in
all
in
people's
those
yards. We drove
like there
past
is
the
still standing water all over the place.
Cattle fields had.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
But it's funny to see all the ducks and the geese
loving life
like,
right now.
Doo-doo-doo, just like having swims in these like temporary ponds. It's funny.
So we're safe.
We're safe.
We're safe.
We're all good.
So yeah, we're all good. Just learning and
Holy schmoly.
learning, living, and loving our new house.
We are really loving it.
Yes. We
Just
are
learning.
There's learning every day.
Yeah.
So, Mrs Weedman,
Mr. Weedman.
what is your favorite diner breakfast place to eat at?
Oh, on a road trip?
Yes.
Waffle House.
Waffle House. Mrs. Weedman has always wanted to own a Waffle House.
Yes,
So-
I have called the company. What does it take? Can I just beg you? I need to own one. You need like 3 million, that's all.
Yeah, that's all.
3 million just capital.
Yeah, just
to get
capital.
talked
So it's not just Mrs. Weedman's favorite place to eat. We've stopped there at 5 in the morning and got waffles and ate them in the car. So it's your late night, Mrs. Weedman's late night savior. So it's basically low key connected though to the federal government now, Mrs. Weedman.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's connected. They have a little
They're
connection
secret
going
agents.
on.
They got an underground tunnel.
And this is but this
Waffles to the president.
possibly. But this is not even a conspiracy way, which somehow makes it
God.
just a little lighthearted and funny.
Okay.
According to Waffle House, and this keeps on popping up in federal conversations, and it's got some layers upon layers of waffles. And first off, though, there's a wild situation, though. Okay, I got to tell you about this guy who connected to the Federal Emergency Management Agency. That's FEMA, for all you out there want to know, who once claimed he got teleported to a Waffle House. Not drove, not Ubered, teleported.
Okay.
And of course, the internet ran with this immediately, though. But he got teleported, so he said. So now, but here's where it actually gets legit, okay? FEMA has something called the Waffle House Index.
What?
Yeah, and it's not a
It has
joke.
something to do with logistics of where they're located.
It's not, you're good. Ms.
Yeah.
Weeman's MacGyver. But this is a real thing. Basically, they use Waffle House locations to measure how bad disasters are.
Oh.
If the restaurant is open and serving a full menu, things are good.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Limited menu, situations get rough. Closed, which Waffle Houses
Well, there's
never
problems.
do. It's a bad situation going on in that area. Bad.
That's
really
weird,
bad.
though, because like if something happened in a town, the Waffle House is by the highway. Like it might.
They don't close though. They don't. Waffle Houses don't.
I know,
close.
but if it
so it kind of makes
closed-
sense though.
Yeah, I guess.
And these spots are built for chaos. They've got jump teams, and that roll in before storms hit. The FEMA does.
Oh.
They have jump teams that know when they spot this stuff around the Waffle Houses, and they know stuff is going on. So they have jump teams that roll in before the storms hit, bring supplies to staff, and everything that they need to reopen fast.
What?
Mm-hmm.
The government has
Honestly,
like a special
faster-
op Waffle House.
Faster than
I wanna
some
be on that
actual
team.
infrastructure. So yeah, while you're sitting at
I've never wanted to be
2
special
a.m.,
op so bad.
you're sitting at breakfast or at 2 a.m. in the morning after a night.
Oh yeah,
What is your favorite thing you get?
a waffle.
Yeah, but what else?
I want covered and peppered
Not
hash
smothered?
browns. Smothered is onions. I don't
Onions.
want
Okay,
onions.
so you want
cheese
covered.
and jalapeno.
You cooked me on that. I love that now.
Hot? Is it hot and smothered? What is it?
It's just
Smothered and peppered.
peppered, yes.
Yeah.
And that cheese is just so
That
good.
freaking, like, they
Government
just
cheese.
spray Pam in the pan.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So you
The
might
cheese
be,
doesn't even change shape when it's melted.
so you should feel safe though when you're at a Waffle House, knowing
Yeah.
that
Oh,
it's
the feds are
disaster
around.
ready.
Yeah, right? That's where I'm going. That's where instead of Home Depot, I'm gonna go to Waffle
So the
House.
crazy thing about it, because they have this team that comes in
Usually
and
they're close together.
right, but the
There you
teams
go,
that
you
come
got
in
everything.
and during disasters or before disasters to get the Waffle Houses
Yeah.
ready for this, they're more fucking prepared.
Is this a joke?
No, they're more prepared than our fucking federal government and state government. Local
Waffle House.
Waffle House. They're more prepared.
Now everybody knows, so
Go to a Waffle
forget
House
that.
store.
Forget that. This is not a joke.
No, it's not a joke. The Fresh Toast posted it. I read it from the Fresh Toast. Dude, I love them. They post a lot of good stuff about weed, but they
That's
posted
crazy.
this. Yes.
Waffle House Disaster Command. So we have to locate near us the Waffle. Oh, we don't have Waffle House. The nearest Waffle House, like 500 miles from here, that's closest to a Home Depot. Because then we'll be all right.
You'll be all good. Or
We'll be good.
Menards. If you
Yeah,
have Menards,
Menards.
because Menards has full food.
Yeah.
Home Depot
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
I want to live
They
in
have
Menards.
good snacks at Menards.
Snacks.
The best.
I want to live in Menards.
Yeah.
Yes, if a disaster happens. And their Christmas, I want to do it during Christmas time because their Christmas section
and just
is
have
amazing.
a party.
Yeah, and just have a party.
In the Christmas in the Christmas decoration aisle.
You can live in Menards for years.
Oh, we were stoned at the grocery store this week. And what did I say? I'm like, wouldn't it be fun if you could win 24 hours, not even, like
Oh, yeah, you did
10
say this is
hours in a
great.
grocery store and you could eat whatever you want?
And as much as you want.
And we were like, what would you eat? I said I'd be in the ice cream aisle.
Yes, and I said I'd be behind the deli making the biggest
sandwich.
sandwich ever. If you don't know who Dagwood is, Blondie's husband from the old comics back in the newspapers for all you young Zers out there and millennials that don't know what like comic strips were in newspapers. Blondie was the comic, and Dagwood sandwiches. He would make a sandwich that was like humongous with everything on it, and it always looked so good as a kid. So I used to make a Dagwood sandwich. That would be my dream.
That would be.
Yeah, I'd go behind the counter and make a Dagwood sandwich.
Candy aisle, ice cream, cereal.
Cereal.
Like
would be
imagine
fun.
just like grazing the cereal aisle.
How about just taking all the cereals you've loved
No,
as a
you can't mix
kid
them.
and just having a bowl of each
Yeah.
lined up,
Yeah.
and then you take your favorite like milk or your like coconut milk or whatever, and you just dump it in there and you just go one scoop just to get one or two
Yeah, just
bites
have
out
a
of each
taste.
one. Yeah. And then and then go back again and do another one around, and then you're good. Then you go to ice cream, and then you go to I would like take a bunch of like that frozen food that I never eat, like Hot Pockets and pizzas.
Take it in the deli and cook it all up.
Cook it all up. And, and I would eat everything that I don't normally eat.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a remember.
Try
that.
all the juices.
If you had 10 hours to stay in a grocery store, what would you eat?
Yeah. You could just have whatever you want.
Yeah, for 10 hours.
I'd play lotto scratch off until like my fingers fell off.
Oh, that would be a hell of a lot of fun.
Would you have a cigarette?
I'd smoke.
because?
I would do it all.
Yeah.
Fuck it. So 10 hours, and then you just live in sin
Like
for the rest of
sample
your
some
life.
different alcohols.
Every day. I would fucking go in the beer aisle, wine aisle,
Yeah.
alcohol aisle, make cocktails. I
Oh
would
my
be
God. Invite some friends in. Come on
shakers.
in.
Yeah. Oh my God. Come and have a party with us. So, oh my God. And I'd still go to the register and ring stuff up for fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah. I'd
Beep,
be like, yeah.
And I wouldn't make you buy 2 to get 1 free.
Oh, BOGOs.
Fucking grocery stores.
All right. You ready to get the show started before we get crazy?
Yeah.
All right. Let's shift gears for a second. This one's a little deeper, though, from what the fun Mrs. Weedman and I were just having, but still super important. So the Fresh Toast breaks this down that doesn't get talked about enough, marijuana at the end of life. And honestly, it's one of those topics where cannabis is quietly making a real difference. As we've read, and there's a lot of states now allowing hospice and care to people to use cannabis during that time. So this is a good article to talk about why. We're talking about patients dealing with serious illnesses, cancer, chronic pain, hospice care, and the big issue is quality of life. Not just surviving, but being comfortable, being present, and having some peace in those final stages. Cannabis is stepping in as a tool for that. One of the biggest benefits, pain management instead of relying on heavy opioids, which can leave people completely out of it. Cannabis can help reduce pain while still allowing patients to stay mentally present. And that's huge because a lot of people don't want to spend their final days in the clouds, in a fog, not being able to function or talk. They want to be able to share moments with their family, their loved ones, and be able to live a little bit life peacefully and share moments, actually be there. It's not just pain either. So cannabis is also being used to help with nausea, especially from treatments like chemo, anxiety and fear, sleep issues, even appetite, helping people maintain strength. Basically, it's about comfort across the board. And what's interesting is how attitudes are shifting, even in the medical world. Doctors and caregivers are becoming more open to cannabis as part of a palliative care, especially when traditional treatments either aren't enough or come with heavy side effects. There's also dignity aspect to all of this. Instead of feeling like everything is being dictated by medications and hospital routines, cannabis gives some patients a sense of control, like they can choose how they manage their symptoms. Now, it's not a magic fix, and it's definitely something that needs to be used carefully and under guidance. But the conversation is changing. Cannabis isn't just about getting high anymore. It's moments like this, it's about easing suffering and helping people hold on to a little bit of themselves right up to the end. And honestly, that might be one of the most meaningful uses of it all. Yep. I
Hmm,
don't want all the
right.
morphine and all that shit.
Yeah.
I wanna be able to have fun those last few moments that I have left on this earth with the people I love and care for and talk about whatever and be able to be high because I am the weed man.
Mm.
Those last moments of my life, fuck yeah. Give me some
Well, if you can.
yes. Well, sneak it into put it in my IV. Put some, put s put some, liquid diamonds in there so they just melt into my ca so, oh, man. Antibiotics.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Can cannabis save us from the antibiotic apocalypse, though, that's coming?
Well, let's
Tell us
talk
about it.
about something kind of wild. Can cannabis actually help us um, from the apparently that's a hard word to say when you're
I
stoned.
guess. You sound like me now.
Antibiotic apocalypse. If you've been paying attention, scientists have been sounding alarms for years. Bacteria are getting smarter, antibiotics are getting weaker, and we're running out of new drugs to fight infections. That's the apocalypse part. Enter cannabis. Researchers are starting to find that certain cannabinoids like CBD and CBG actually have antibacterial properties. And not just basic stuff either. We're talking about effectiveness against drug resistant bacteria, including strains like MRSA, which are some of the toughest infections out there. That's huge because we haven't discovered a truly new class of antibiotics in decades. Now, here's where it gets interesting. These cannabis compounds don't seem to work the same way traditional antibiotics do. Scientists think they may attack bacteria through a completely different mechanism, which could be key in beating resistance. But we're still early in the game. Most of these studies have been done in labs or on animals, not full human trials. So, while the results are promising, nobody's saying you can just swap your antibiotics for a joint and call it a day. Another thing the article touches on is how cannabis has kind of always been part of the plant kingdom's defense system. Plants produce these compounds to protect themselves from bacteria and pathogens. So, in a way, we're just now catching up to what nature's been doing all along. And if this research keeps moving forward, cannabis or cannabis derived compounds could eventually be used alongside antibiotics or even help create entirely new ones. So we're not at a cannabis cures everything status, but we might be looking at a future where this plant plays a serious role in fighting one of humanity's biggest medical threats. The antibiotic apocalypse might, why can't I say that? Might be real, but cannabis could end up being part of the human survival kit.
We're
That's
getting
pretty
yeah,
interesting.
we're prescribed too much antibiotics as it is. That's
Yeah.
why they're getting weaker in our
Hmm.
system. But I don't take them unless I'm on my like like absolutely like
Have to.
yes. Yeah. So space,
Oh, did you see the images today?
the final sesh. These are the voyages of the Starship Hotbox Enterprise. Its mission to explore strange new strains, to seek out cosmic kush and zero gravity edibles, to boldly go or to boldly smoke what no one has smoked before. But before we spark up beyond the atmosphere, we got to ask the real question: What actually happens if you try to smoke weed in space? If you're a Star Trek fan out there, hopefully you were impressed by that. Go ahead, Mr. Man. You were saying something?
Oh, I don't know.
You were talking about, did you see the pictures today from the moon?
Yes.
They were
They got
behind
the
the
40
moon.
minutes of
Yeah.
they are on the other
Amazing.
side.
And they lost all
Literally.
contact
Yeah.
with NASA.
Nobody's ever seen that part of the
Yes.
moon.
Amazing.
Pretty cool.
Science.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Astronauts.
Mm-hmm.
Space.
This is like furthest that man has ever gone.
I know. By like
Crazy.
20,000
Apollo
miles.
13.
Yeah,
they
beat
them
them by like 30,000
before
miles.
disappearing for 40 minutes.
That's crazy. So the Fresh Toast asked this question, though.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you take marijuana into space? And yeah, it sounds funny at first, but there's actually some real science behind it. First off, space already messes with your body in wild ways. Zero gravity changes how fluids move, how your brain processes things, even your sense of balance. So imagine adding THC into that mix. One of the biggest things. Your perception is already altered in space. Astronauts experience disorientation just from being in microgravity. So adding cannabis could amplify that big time. We're talking intensified dizziness, slower reaction times, and confusion, which is probably not ideal when you're floating around a multi-billion-dollar spacecraft or in a multi-billion-dollar spacecraft. Another issue is how the body processes cannabis. Here on Earth, gravity plays a role in how our blood flows and how substances move through your system. In space, that actually changes, so THC could hit differently, possibly stronger or more unpredictable. And then there's the safety side. NASA and space agencies are not playing around with this stuff. Astronauts have to be sharp, focused, and ready for anything at all times. So cannabis, yeah, that's hard no under current rules. Even something as simple as smoking would be a problem, though, because you're dealing with oxygen-controlled environments. One wrong move, and it's not just a bad session, it's a bad, serious hazard. Now, looking ahead, as a private space travel becomes more of a thing, people are starting to wonder, could cannabis ever be a part of that experience? Like imagine space tourism. And somebody's like, yo, I want to see Earth from orbit. A little elevated. But then there's the big question. How safe is it? How does it affect coordination in zero gravity? What are the risks in closed environment? So for now, cannabis in space stays in the interesting idea category, not reality. But it does show how far the conversation around cannabis has come. We're not just talking about Earth anymore. We're literally asking, what happens when you take this plant beyond the planet? Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been hearing a lot about, some research that's been going on, like if cannabis messes with your memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does cannabis ease anxiety, or they're saying it doesn't ease anxiety now? There's research to that. And now they're saying, does cannabis really help ease stress? What does the research say, Mrs. Weedman?
Well, let's stay in the health lane for a second, because a lot of people out there swear cannabis helps them chill out. But does it actually help with stress? According to this Green State article, the answer is kind of, but it depends. That's kind of wishy-washy. First, this all comes down to your body's endocannabinoid system, or ECS. That's essentially the system helping regulate mood, stress, and sleep. When stress hits, your body pumps out cortisol, its fight or flight hormone. Cannabis interacts with that system and can help bring things back into balance. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Research shows cannabinoids like CBD and THC can actually help reduce stress, but they don't work the same way. CBD tends to calm things down across a wide range of doses, while THC is a little trickier. Low dose? You might feel relaxed. Too much? Now you're anxious, overthinking, checking the door lock 5 times. They even found in one study that a small THC dose helped people feel better, but a higher dose straight up increased anxiety. So, more weed does not always mean more chill. Another key piece, terpenes, those flavor and aroma compounds, they actually play a role too. Like linalool, also found in lavender, it can help calm the nervous system, while myrcene leans toward that couch lock, body relax vibe. And then there's the growing trend of microdosing, taking really small amounts, like 1 to 5 milligrams of THC. The idea is that you get stress relief without getting blasted. And research suggests low doses can actually lower cortisol, while higher doses can do the opposite. But this isn't a magic fix. The article makes it clear cannabis works best as part of a bigger picture that includes good rest, good diet, movement, all that good stuff. And cannabis to be used as a tool, not a cure. And if you're overdoing it, especially with high THC products, it can backfire and actually make stress worse over time. Cannabis can actually help you take the edge off, but it's about how you use it. Dose, balance, and knowing your body. That's the real key to staying lifted and level. And, we keep having these articles come up, and we cover it from time to time with the cannabis hypersenesis syndrome.
Yep.
It's just becoming more and more common. Some people are pointing the finger at dispensaries or not dispensaries, I'm sorry, at the news, pointing the finger at dispensaries. Some like that the flower now is being produced at such high levels of
Yep.
THC. Some people think
There's
that
94% vapes and all that shit.
yeah, and some people think it's just the agenda. It's the media putting hype into the dangers of cannabis, building off the war on drugs. Um, you and I have talked a lot, and we've read a lot of articles about it being directly correlated to these higher level THCs or like
We just read about
heavy like all day users who are just like hitting concentrates all day long, wax and dabs and all of that heavy
and we also just
THC
read too
rich.
is also could possibly be mold issues too.
And
We
there
just
could be
read.
mold issues in
Mhm.
the dispensary
Yeah.
flower, and that's creating this syndrome and people
Right.
getting nauseous and being sick.
Even in the vapes, there
Mhm.
could be they get
Metals and
well, no,
and
not the metals.
pesticides.
They get the pesticides, but they also get they
Too
get
much THC.
too much THC and also mold, and
Yeah.
there's stuff that's not supposed to be in there.
Right.
So mycotoxins and all that shit too. So we don't know
What's
until
really causing it.
right. I mean, it's happening quite often. So and more. So we just have to do research, but
Mhm.
also figure out what's causing this because I don't believe it's THC causing it.
Right.
That's my belief. Don't quote me on that, but it's my belief that even keeled moderation, you shouldn't be doing this. You
Mhm.
shouldn't have
The syndrome.
the scromiting.
Yeah.
So political state and business news. Anti-marijuana groups are suing to block a proposed federal ban tied to the Trump administration that could allow Medicare coverage for certain cannabis-related treatments, including CBD and THC. Opponents argue it bypasses proper approval channels and raises safety concerns, while support say it could expand access for patients. Anti-marijuana group. What about all of those narcotics that we prescribe? And how come you're not out there fighting that? Like people who've been addicted to opioids for the last 20 years, and we still have not been able to solve that. And you're worried about CBD. It could expand access to patients. The lawsuit adds another layer of tension to the ongoing national cannabis policy debate. A new op-ed is calling on Latino communities to step up and claim more power within the cannabis industry. Despite strong culture ties and growing participation, Latinos remain underrepresented in ownership and leadership roles. The piece urges increased investment, advocacy, and unity to influence policy and businesses, emphasizing that now it's time to shape the future of cannabis. Convenience stores across the country are making big moves into cannabis and hemp-derived products, especially THC beverages and edibles. With declining cigarette sales, retailers are cannabis is a major opportunity for growth. These products are often federally legal hemp derivatives, allowing wider access. The shift signals how mainstream cannabis consumption is popping up in everyday locations like your local corner store. The Idaho Senate has passed a resolution urging voters not to sign petitions supporting a medical marijuana ballot initiative. Lawmakers urge the proposed lacks proper regulation and could lead to broader legalization. Supporters, however, say it would just provide much needed relief for patients. The move highlights the ongoing divide in Idaho as cannabis reform efforts continue to face strong political resistance. South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson announced multiple indictments in a major crackdown on businesses accused of illegally selling marijuana and THC products. Dubbed Operation Ganjapreneur, the investigation found products being sold openly despite state laws. Officials say the operation targeted unregulated and potentially unsafe products, reinforcing the state's strict stance against unauthorized cannabis sales in local businesses. Texas lawmakers are pushing forward with efforts that would effectively bans certain hemp-derived products, tightening regulations in booming market. The proposed changes to aim close loopholes that allow these products to be sold widely. Supporters say it's about safety and oversight, while critics argue it could hurt businesses and limit access to legal alternatives in the state. The White House recently held its first meeting focused on cannabis product enforcement policy, bringing together federal agencies to discuss regulation and oversight. The discussion centered on hemp derived cannabinoids and the growing market's legal gray areas. Officials are looking for ways to balance consumer safety and industry growth, signaling the federal attention on cannabis enforcement and continuing to ramp up. Colorado's governor has signed a new bill allowing medical marijuana use in hospitals. Great. Making a major step towards the patient access. However, the law includes an amendment letting facilities opt out, which drew criticism. Supporters say it expands compassionate care, while critics argue the opt out weakens the impact. The move shows progress, but also complexities in integrating cannabis into healthcare. A new opinion piece warns that strengthening Connecticut's cannabis market shouldn't come at the cost of equity. While the industry continues to grow, concerns remain the large companies could dominate, pushing out smaller minority-owned businesses. That's happening all over. The article stresses the need to uphold social equity commitments, ensuring that most impacted for past cannabis laws still have real opportunities. Nebraska lawmakers have passed a bill to regulate the fund a medical marijuana program, moving the state closer to broader cannabis reform. The legalization outlines how the program would operate and be financed if approved by voters. Supporters see it as a major step forward and patient access, while opponents remain cautious as the state continues navigating legalization efforts. Washington, D.C. is considering a bill that would allow cannabis-infused beverage drinks to be sold in the breweries and distilleries. The proposal aims to expand the market and create new business opportunities while modernizing local cannabis business. If passed, it could further normalize cannabis consumptions in social settings, blending it more directly with the city's existing food and drink culture. Idaho lawmakers are actively urging residents to reject the proposed medical marijuana ballot measures, doubling down in opposition with the state. Just like I read a little bit before, but that was the Senate. Now this is more lawmakers. Officials argue the initiative could open the door to broader legalization and lacks of sufficient safeguards. Meanwhile, advocates continue pushing for patient access, setting up a clear clash as voters prepare to weigh in on the issue. So, like I said before, I start off last Tuesday researching new articles. So this is from the middle of last week going into Mrs Weedman will be over the weekend, and then I finish up with Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So, so that is what's going on in Idaho. They're fighting to not have this on the ballot that voters want. Right, Mrs Weedman?
That's right.
Because I'm passing that joint over to you.
Yeah, I've got more political, state, and business news. We'll start off with Dr. Oz. He has announced a new initiative aimed at expanding Medicare coverage to include certain hemp derived products like CBD and THC. The program is designed to explore alternative treatment options for patients, particularly for pain and chronic conditions. Supporters say it could increase access, while critics question regulation and oversight as cannabis continues entering mainstream healthcare discussions. A federal judge has rejected an attempt by anti-marijuana groups to block a proposed Medicare coverage plan for CBD and THC products. The ruling allows the process to move forward, with a hearing now scheduled for 4/20. The decision marks a significant moment in the ongoing legal battle over cannabis access and federal healthcare policy. An op-ed is urging Virginia's governor to protect consumer access to hemp-derived products amid growing regulatory pressure. The piece argues that overly strict rules could hurt both businesses and consumers who rely on these products. Advocates are calling for balanced policies that ensure safety without shutting down a rapidly growing segment of the cannabis market. Minnesota cannabis regulators have issued their first product recalls as the state continues rolling out its legal market. At the same time, lawmakers are working to adjust regulations to address early challenges. Officials say the recalls are part of ensuring consumer safety, while ongoing rule changes highlight the complexities of launching a new cannabis industry. Oklahoma is launching a statewide medical marijuana research study focused on real-world patient data. The initiative will collect information directly from consumers to better understand how cannabis is being used and its effects. Supporters say the citizen science approach could help shape future policy and improve patient care in one of the country's largest medical markets. I think that's like the most simple approach and smart.
Yeah.
Maryland lawmakers have passed a bill protecting firefighters and rescue workers who use medical marijuana while off duty. The measure ensures these employees won't face penalties for legal use outside of work hours. Supporters say it's a steep, it's a step toward fairness and modern workplace policies while still maintaining safety standards for emergency personnel on the job. Texas officials have approved new medical marijuana business licenses as part of an effort to expand patient access. The move is expected to increase availability and improve the state's limited program. While still restrictive compared to other states, supporters see it as progress, signaling a gradual shift toward broader acceptance of medical cannabis in Texas. Cannabis culture continues evolving, and one unexpected trend is the rise of custom designed Mylar bags. These packages are becoming a form of artistic expression and branding for cannabis products. From bold graphics to creative themes, the designs are helping companies stand out while also becoming collectible among consumers who appreciate the visual side of the culture. The White House says cannabis rescheduling remains on track despite recent political shakeups, including the firing of a key official. Federal authorities continue reviewing the drug's classification, which could shift cannabis to a less restrictive category. While no final decision has been made, the update signals that reform efforts are still moving forward at the national level. Federal officials have finalized a rule allowing certain hemp derived products to be offered as benefits under Medicare Advantage plans. The change could expand access to CBD and similar products for eligible patients. Supporters say it reflects growing acceptance of cannabis related treatments, while critics continue raising concerns about regulation, safety, and long term oversight. A group known as Pot Mamas is making waves in Minnesota's cannabis scene, opening dispensaries in the Twin Cities. The women led business is focused on building community and creating welcoming retail spaces. Their success highlights the growing role of female entrepreneurs in cannabis and reflects an expanding diversity within the industry.
Love that.
Yeah, back over to you, Mr. Weedman.
Thanks, Mrs Weedman. North Carolina lawmakers are forming a new marijuana policy council to study legalization and develop recommendations by 2026. Good for you, North Carolina. Authorities in Memphis carried out a major drug crackdown, arresting 46 people and seizing large amounts of marijuana in a single-day operation. Officials say the effort targeted illegal distribution networks and unregulated sales. While law enforcement highlights public safety concerns, critics argue that these types of crackdowns reflect ongoing tensions between prohibition enforcement and evolving cannabis laws nationwide. 7 years after cannabis legalization, Illinois is still dealing with legal battles over licensing. A major lawsuit is now heading to court, focusing on how licenses were awarded and whether the process was fair. These cases highlight ongoing concerns about equity and access, showing that even established legal markets continue facing challenges in creating balanced industry. Canna Friends is relaunching its brand with a new event set for April 15th, aiming to bring fresh energy to its cannabis community presence. The event will feature new products, updated branding, and focus on lifestyle engagement. Organizers say it's about reconnecting with consumers and building momentum in an increasingly competitive cannabis market. Iowa lawmakers continue to block efforts to legalize marijuana, with Republican leaders shutting down proposals once again. Come on, Iowa. Advocates argue legalization could bring economic benefits and expand access, but opposition remains firm. The repeated setbacks highlight the state resistance to reform, even as more states across the country move forward with legal cannabis policies. Missouri lawmakers have approved a ban on intoxicating hemp-derived products targeting itself that fall into legal gray areas. The move aims to tighten regulations and address concerns about untested products being sold widely. Supporters say it's about safety, while critics argue it could hurt businesses and limit consumer access in an already evolving cannabis marketplace. A new Mass state bill is proposing to double the amount of cannabis consumers can legally purchase while also easing certain industry regulations. Lawmakers say the changes could improve market efficiency and better meet consumer demand. Critics, however, are raising concerns over oversight. The proposal reflects ongoing efforts to refine and expand existing cannabis laws. President Trump has proposed continuing protections for state medical marijuana programs from federal interference, while still opposing recreational sales in Washington, D.C. The position highlights a mixed approach to cannabis policy, supporting medical use while limiting broader legalization efforts. It reflects the ongoing complexity and political balancing acts surrounding cannabis reform at the federal level. Southwest Airlines, this is a good one, Mrs. Weedman. You ready?
Mhm.
Southwest Airlines has been fined by the FAA following reports involving pilots and flight attendants for using
Oh,
cocaine
Jesus.
and a little bit of that weed.
Wow.
The investigation raised serious safety concerns as strict federal rules prohibit drug use in aviation. Officials emphasize the importance of maintaining safety standards, while the case serves as a reminder of the strict regulations surrounding cannabis in certain industries. I want some of that
Jeez.
cocaine. And next time you're on a flight, everybody just ask the Southwest folks if they got any of that cocaine or some of that
Yeah,
marijuana.
yeah, sure, ask
Hey.
them. Just
Say the
that won't
weed
be a
man said you
problem.
guys have it.
Jeez.
Ah, don't worry, no, just leave it in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, everybody needed a good laugh for a second. Indiana continues to resist marijuana legalization, with state leaders maintaining strict policies despite growing regional pressure. Discussions around reform are ongoing, but no major legislative movements have taken place. Advocates point to neighboring states embracing cannabis, while opponents remain cautious. The situation reflects the broader divide in cannabis policy across the Midwest. This is a really good one. This is my favorite thing I've read in a hot minute. You
Yeah,
ready?
yeah, I'm ready.
Ethos Cannabis announced it will close its dispensaries on 420, aiming to return the holiday to the patients, their employees, and the community. The
Nice.
company says the move is about honoring the roots of cannabis culture rather than focusing on sales.
Pretty sweet.
It's a unique approach that highlights ongoing conversation about commercialization and the meaning behind cannabis traditions. Ethos Cannabis, Mr. Weedman, Weedman 420, is so fucking happy when I read this and so fucking proud of you, because you can make all your money that whole entire week going into that Monday and give the people back what they deserve, and that is 420. I fucking love it. I met an owner of a fucking company, a big major company here, that had no clue where fucking 420 came from, but he used it all the fucking time in his sales tactics for fucking selling his fucking edibles. Brutal. Give that day back to the people. I'm telling you. And there's one company here, one dispensary, well, not one, they own multiple, that's doing a half day for their employees on 420.
Nice.
I am so proud of them. Alex, my friend, giving you a shout out into the D33 folks and the Spark folk. Now, I don't know if all their stores are getting half days, but I think he told me some of their stores are getting a half day. I am fucking proud of you for doing that. And I appreciate your homie for letting me know that. I'm giving you all a shout out. I think you should all have the day off, period. They should just close on that Monday. They used to throw a really big party, D33.
Yeah.
That block party, their Waldo block party. I don't know if they're doing that anymore, but it was fucking big party. A lot of bands and stuff like that. They did a really good job doing that. But I want to say Ethos Cannabis and also D33 Sparked here in Illinois. I'm proud of you for understanding the true meaning of what this fucking day is all about. Not profits and margins. I love y'all out there, dispensaries, owners, and I love y'all out there, vendors and suppliers and everybody that's in the industry, but we should all have that day off. Make it a national holiday. And then I could bring back the skunk bus. Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
Here's another thing about 420. Why don't you tell us what cannabis retailers are getting wrong about 420 discounts?
Yeah, this is our business article for the day. So let's switch gears a little bit. Because 420 is coming up, and as you already know, dispensaries everywhere are about to start throwing discounts around like crazy. But according to MJ Biz Daily, a lot of them are actually getting it wrong. Everybody assumes the move is simple. Biggest day of the year, drop the deepest discounts, pack the store, cash out. Sounds accurate, right? Well, not exactly. Data shows that the days leading up to 420 are actually more valuable than 420 itself. In fact, nearly 60% of total 420 sales happen before the holiday hits. We're talking April 18th and 19th. Those days saw the biggest growth and higher spending per customer. Meanwhile, on 420 itself, Traffic goes up, but people spend less per order. Why? Because on the actual day, everybody's hunting deals. So when stores go heavy on discounts, they end up cutting their own profits without really increasing how much people buy. Basically, it ends up being more customers with less money spent per sale. Not exactly the win that you would expect. Here's another big mistake: treating every customer the same. The article breaks it down. Your loyal, high spending customers, they're already spending big. They don't need crazy discounts. So when retailers hit them with the same deals as everyone else, they're just giving away money and maybe losing their loyalty. On the flip side, bargain hunters will chase discounts, but they don't necessarily spend more just because price drops. Once again, the margins get squeezed and the math doesn't really work for anyone. What could be a better action plan? Things like bundled deals, where the customers grab more products instead of just slashed prices, or early bird specials to spread out traffic, even flash sales to create hype without discounting everything all day. And here's a slick one: spend threshold deals. Like spend 100, get a bonus. That gets people to add an item instead of just paying less for a smaller order. That's how you boost that average spend without killing your margins. But the real take home from this article is that 420 shouldn't just be about one day. A lot of retailers treat it like a one-time cash grab: get people in the door, run wild discounts, and hope they'll come back. But the smart strategy is using 420 to build long-term customers. We're talking loyalty programs, follow-ups, giving people a reason to come back after the deals are gone, because it costs way more to get a new customer than to keep one. So the real way to play isn't to just sell as much weed as possible on 420. It's really about turning that one-day hype into year-round business. And the biggest mistake retailers make is thinking 420 is just a one-day event, when the real money is in the buildup and what happens after the smoke clears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah.
Miss Weedman, let's light that joint up before I go into international
Okay.
news or while I'm reading international
Okay.
news. So Iceland is taking a thoughtful approach to cannabis, highlighted at the Hemp for Future conference, where experts push back against fear-based narratives. Leaders emphasize science, sustainability, and innovation in hemp and cannabis policy rather than panic. The country is focusing on informed discussions, showing how education and research can shape smarter cannabis conversations on the global stage. Advocates in India are calling for the re-legalization of ganja, arguing it has deep cultural, religious, and historical roots. Bang! Supporters say current laws ignore traditional use and limit economical potential. The push highlights a growing global trend of reevaluating cannabis policies, with calls for reform centered around heritage, medicine, and opportunity. Ireland is considered expanding access to prescription cannabis as part of a broader review of its medical program. Officials are examining how to improve availability for patients while qualifying conditions. The move reflects growing recognitions of cannabis as a treatment option, while also highlighting the careful, measured approach many countries are taking toward reform. Smoke break.
Mhm.
Super boofy. Very good. Thanks for throwing to the cause. Really nice. Smooth smoke. Uruguay has successfully reduced its illicit cannabis market to just 6 to 7% since legalization, making a major milestone. However, new challenges are emerging, including competition, regulation, and market balance. The country's experience shows both the benefits of complexities of legalization, offering lessons for other nations considering similar cannabis policies. Remember, Uruguay was the first. Can only be one time.
Only
And
one.
they were first. Thailand. Oh, gosh. Miss Weedman.
Thank God.
We've been together way too long, everybody. Thailand is moving to Thailand is moving to shift its cannabis industry toward a stricter medical model as the number of shops declines. Officials are tightening regulations to control the market and address concerns over misuse. The changes reflect a significant pickup from earlier, more relaxed policies, showing how quickly cannabis laws can evolve in response to public and political pressure. Lawmakers in Tasmania are pushing for cannabis law reform, with a group of MPs launching a new effort to change current policies. Advocates argue reform could bring economic and social benefits, while opponents remain cautious. The push adds to the growing global momentum as more regions explore potential changes to cannabis laws. U.S. cannabis companies continue to face challenges expanding into Europe, while experts are warning of a Europe trap. Differences in regulations, culture, and market structure have made success difficult. The analysts suggest companies need more localized strategies, highlighting on how global expansion in cannabis requires careful planning beyond simple replicating U.S. models. Two regional governments in Nepal are moving toward legalizing cannabis cultivation, signaling potential changes in national policy. Officials see opportunities for economic growth and agricultural development. The move reflects the broader shift of countries reconsidering cannabis prohibition, especially in regions where the plant has historical and cultural significance.
Hmm.
That was international news, everybody. Now, Mrs. Weedman is going to take you to an old stoner comedy blueprint. And let's hallucinate. The Pizza Movie, this is called. Yeah.
I know, but your lead-in might have been a little confusing.
Oh, sorry, everybody. So
Yeah.
there's this movie called The Pizza Movie
Yeah.
that takes an old stoner approach, comedy blueprint.
There we go.
There you go. And lets it hallucinate a little bit
There we go.
with
There
this.
we go.
So sorry, everybody. Sorry.
Stoner Doc.
Yes. But the kid from what's that movie? What's that show?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is new. This is like for the Gen Z or stoner kind of thing, right? I
Yeah.
think what we were talking earlier about.
It is.
So kind of interesting.
Mhm.
And it's on Disney and Hulu.
Hulu.
On Disney.
Hulu. Yeah, interesting, right?
Yeah. So tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to throw on the screen during a smoke sesh, there's a new movie out called Pizza Movie. And yes, it's exactly as ridiculous as it sounds. It just dropped on Hulu, and it's basically a full-on chaotic stoner comedy centered around one simple mission: get the pizza. That's it. That's the goal. But of course, it doesn't stay that simple. The movie follows two college roommates who take an experimental drug, and suddenly, a basic trip downstairs to grab their pizza turns into a full blown psychedelic adventure. We're talking hallucinations, weird side quests, and nonstop randomness. And the cast is actually pretty solid. You've got Matarazzo. I'm probably butchering that from Gatton Matarazzo,
There you
I
go.
think, from Stranger Things, leading the charge, along with Sean Gambrone from a bunch of supporting characters. Who is that? Who is Sean? Okay, oh my God, I'm so stoned. I can't even.
You got super boofy.
It's just like, yeah, I don't feel
You got
cloudy.
super boof.
My mouth can't work though. All right, plus a bunch of supporting characters. How about that there? The whole vibe, well, think classic stoner comedy, but turned up all the way. The humor is super fast, super weird, and doesn't really care if it makes sense half the time. It's one of those movies where the joke is out of the pocket. Everything, what is how out of the pocket? What? It's one of those movies where the joke is how out of pocket everything gets. There we go. Come
Man.
on, Mrs. Weedman.
But did you take some of that hallucinogenic
Yeah,
that
maybe,
they took?
right? My eyes are crossed, aren't they? It isn't meant to be some deep, serious film. It's built to feel like being way too high with your friends, where even the smallest tasks feels like a life or death mission, like trying to make it down 2 flights of stairs without losing your mind. You might be thinking, it's probably not a movie that everyone will enjoy. That's right. If you're watching this completely sober, you might be sitting there like, why am I watching this? But if you're in the right mindset with the right group of people, this could easily turn into one of those cult favorite type movies. And that's kind of how it's being positioned, like a next gen version of those stoner comedies people have been quoting for years. So the bottom line, Pizza Movie isn't trying to be perfect. It's trying to be a vibe. And if you're looking for something weird, chaotic, and built for a late night session, this might just be the movie you need. So check it out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll watch it.
I will.
Really stoned.
Stoned. Yeah.
Like extremely stoned.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Ms. Weedman,
Mr. Weedman.
that's the end of the show.
Yeah, that went fast.
Too
We were
fast.
chatty.
Yeah, we were chatty too.
Mhm.
You got anything else to say before we go?
Well, 420's coming up, everybody. Will we have another episode before that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
then I won't wish you well for 420. I'll do
We're going to
that
have a
next
special
time.
guest, though, for 420 this year.
Yeah, we are.
I'm not going to tell you all yet.
Yeah, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Special guest for this year for 420.
Yeah. So come back
Flying
for our
into
420
town.
show.
Flying into town all the way to come see us. It's going to be a good, fun show.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should be great, right?
Should be fun.
Yeah. Well, everybody, we love you out there. We need some peace. We need some love. We need some kindness out there each and every day. Go out there and live your fucking lives and have some fun. Because, like I said, we're all going to die one day. And you might as well go do what the fuck you want. Job's a job. But your life is your life. Go out there and fucking don't. I say this quite often. You control your career. Don't let your career control you.
That's right.
That's right. So as Paulie always says, smoke smart, puff, puff, and away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome, long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.